and gentlemen, welcome to today's Career Gist with Tutu Westerhoff. I am your girl, Chinelontagu, and today's topic is about the experience of a Tagesmutter here in Germany and being an entrepreneur caring for kids, because a lot of us might want to do something, keep themselves busy while they're having kids. And being a Tagesmutter or working in the kindergarten is a very good opportunity for you to still be busy while you're taking care of your kids and the kids of other people. So Tutu Westerhoff is a singer and an entrepreneur who runs the famous MomentosBox, and she ran a Tagesmutter service for 13 years. She'll be sharing with us her experience as an entrepreneur caring for kids. She was born in Sierra Leone, West Africa, and she grew up in the US and England and Germany. She discovered her love for art, music, and singing at an early age, and she was also inspired by different cultures. And today is about her experience as a Tagesmutter. And I would let her do more of the talking because it is her experience we want to learn and how we can get this done in Germany if we want to go into this. So Tutu, please introduce yourself again and then tell us all the experience and everything that we need to do, all the information that you have.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, everyone. As was already said, my name is Tutu Westerhoff. I live in Cologne, in Germany. I am a mother of three children. My children are now 20, 18, and 14. So I have experienced like all the ages, right? Yes, I used to be a Tagesmutter here in Cologne. The whole thing happened coincidentally when my first son, was only a few months old. I was at the playground, and a group of women saw me playing with my child, and they confronted me. They asked me if I was interested in joining what they call here Elterninitiative, which is a group of parents that take their own initiative to take care of their children. I said, why not? And so what they did was they took turns taking care of the children. And as time went on, they saw that I was doing a good job at it. And so they asked me if I would like to take care of the children on 4 days, and instead of just one day, 4 days during the week, and have a day off. And I said, why not? And I started that way. And I kept doing that until I became pregnant with my second son, and then I stopped working there. And then, I gave birth. My second son arrived, and by then we'd already moved to Zurich, which is also in Cologne, another city in the southern part of Cologne. And there I saw, I started having the feeling that I really wanted to go back into that kind of work because I enjoyed it a lot. It helped me a lot with my firstborn. And by saying it helped me a lot, it helped me a lot to be calm. It helped me a lot to understand. And with having the other parents around, I understood what kind of teachings I would like to give to my child. Okay, my second child was born, and then I really wanted to start again. I thought, well, if I could do it where I was before, then I would be able to do it again on my own in Zurich. At that time, there was a little house that I saw as I was walking by, and my husband and I decided to, purchase this house and allow me to take care of children there. So I was working as a Tagesmutter outside of home, which means I never brought the children to my house because that's a different story altogether. But I'm going to explain both of them to you. Okay, well, I, made sure that I went to the Jugendamt, and I told them that I was interested in taking care of children within the walls of this house that we just purchased. When I say house, it sounds big, but it was a very small Fischerhäuschen, it's called. Okay, And then I told the Jugendamt, and at that point, they made it clear to me that because it was not an Elterninitiative, like what I was doing before, that I would need to be qualified to take care of other people's children. So that brings me to the part where I have to explain to you what is a Tagesmutter. So if you're taking care of other people's children for longer than 10 hours, let me check here, 15 hours a week, and you're being paid for it, then you're a Tagesmutter. That means if you're taking care of someone's child for maybe 2 or 3 times for an hour during the week, or for 2 hours during the week, or for 10 hours, then you don't need to have the qualification. But if it's anything over 15 hours a week, you need to be qualified. So how does the process go? You go to the Jugendamt and you explain to them what you want to do. And then they're going to ask you to do this qualifizierung, which means you have to qualify yourself and show that you are able and capable to be a Tagesmutter. This course itself is not short. It's not a joke. It's 160 hours, 160 45-minute hours. So it's not something you do over a weekend. There is a possibility to do like an intensive course over a shorter period of time, or it's something that you can do over, I think, a year. Yeah. And it's in two parts. And if you've managed to master the first part, then they will allow you to take care of, I think, 2 children or 3 children. And that brings me to this part where I have to tell you that a Tagesmutter is only allowed to take care of a maximum of 5 children by herself. No more than 5, just 5 children within your house. And that means including your own children. So if you have 3 children, you're only allowed to take care of 2 other external children, and 5 altogether. So you have to really, see how you're able to manage that. Jugendamt does not pay for this qualification that you have to undergo, although I'm talking about Cologne now. In some parts of Germany, depending on what Bundesland you live, in what area, some Jugendamt will maybe pay part of the qualification that you have to do. I don't remember what the costs are. That will vary as well from town to town, from city to city, but you do have to pay for it yourself. And if you're lucky, your Jugendamt will, pay part of the amount that you're supposed to give in. But this would also mean that you'll be working for the Jugendamt. If they pay part of it, part of your Qualifizierung, that would mean that you're working for the Jugendamt, which means they will provide you with children to take care of. That has its advantages and disadvantages, but we will get to that later on. This qualification that you have to undergo has different parts to it. It's to teach you, or I mean, we're all mothers. I don't think they can teach us much, but it's to make it clear what your job as a Tagesmutter is, which is basically you are taking over the place of a mother. You have to teach the child, make sure the child has enough, space to play, and the toys that it's playing with are safe, that it has, food and water, and that it's well taken care of. And also during this course, you're going to learn how to help the child with its movements, with its speech, with its conversation with the way it deals with other children and other adults. And you're also going to learn how to deal with the parents as well, because when you become a Tagesmutter, you're not only going to have to deal with the children that you're taking care of, but also the parents that are bringing their children. So I'll say the course is it's long, but it's also intense. It's a lot of information. And the reason why we have to do this course is just so that Jugendamt can understand or know who's taking care of children, because we know things do go wrong sometimes. It's for your safety, and also for the parents who bring their children to you, for their safety. Okay. If the Jugendamt is paying part of your qualification and you're working under the Jugendamt, they're going to be the ones to decide how much money you're going to get, how much money you're going to be paid per child. Um, Let me get this straight. Anyone who takes care of children, it has to go through the Jugendamt. Anything above 15 hours. But you have the freedom to look for children in your neighborhood or, friends of friends, and you take care of those children without it going through the Jugendamt. You can do that. If you do it through the Jugendamt, they will be the ones to pay you directly, but they have a certain amount that they pay. And again, that varies from town to town. Um, so if you're not working with the Jugendamt, you have the freedom to decide how much money you want the parents to pay you per hour, per month, per week. That's up to you. Okay, so you can decide how much money they should pay you. You get to decide what times the children are to be brought to you, during the day, whether it's just for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. But bear in mind, you're only allowed to have five all together. Okay, so that means if you have on Monday you have one child coming, you can have on another one coming on Tuesday, or and one coming all throughout the week. But as I said, five altogether, including your own children that you have. Okay. The reason why the Jugendamt does this is to differentiate between a Tagesmutter and qualifizierte Erzieherinnen, which are qualified teachers that you have at kindergarten and so forth. If you have that kind of education as an Erzieherin, you're able to take care of more than five children. Another thing that the Jugendamt also wants to know is how you live. They're going to come by and check your home. They want to know if there's enough space for you to take care of other children and with your own children as well. They want to know if there's space for them to sleep, what the bathroom situation is like, and they want to know what your kitchen looks like, and who else lives in the house, whether you live alone, your husband, if you have sons and daughters. All of that plays a big role in whether the Jugendamt will allow you to take care of children in your home or not. As I said, I used to take care of the children outside of my house, which meant I was able to take care of five children from the word go. No, not from the word go. When I started my Qualifizierung, yeah, to be qualified, I think the first 6 months, I was only allowed to take care of three kids until I had completed the whole training process. And then I was able to take care of five children. And because where I was, there was enough space. I was able to have another Tagesmutter come and join me so that we can both take care of more than five children, a total of nine children, not 10, nine children, if there are two of you working together. So that could be also something that you might be interested in if you say you'd like to work together with another sister or a friend of yours that you like, and you believe that you can work well with each other and you harmonize. You can also look for a location nearby that you think is has the requirements. Again, the requirements are important because the Jugendamt is going to want to come and see what the location looks like. And if it's suitable, they will allow you and someone else, two people, to take care of nine children all together. Yeah, this is what I used to do. So you also have to take a look at the whole thing and try and figure out what's best for you and best for your children and best for your family. Because let's be honest, it's a good way to earn a little bit of money on the side, but it's not going to make you rich. And you have to ask yourself, is it worth the pressure? Because being a Tagesmutter that takes care of children every day means having people from outside enter your home every day. So if a working mother has to be at work at 8 o'clock, she'll be ringing your doorbell at 7:45 in the morning to drop her child off. And you have to see how you have to do things with your children, see if your house is in a mess, or see if you're basically opening up your home to for other people to come in and move around. This might not be easy for everyone. So it's something you have to talk about with your spouse and your children, depending on what age your children are. They might have difficulties getting along with the other children, or, they have to maybe make themselves small. So you have to figure out and understand if it's something that you really want to do. But if you have the space for it, well, go ahead, because it is something that is very, very, how do I put it? It's very rewarding because I enjoyed it. It's something that it's one of the best decisions that I ever made to take care of other people's children. But as I said, I didn't have them in my house, which makes a very big difference. So as I said, if you have them in your house, it would be nice if you have a certain area where you can have the children come in and play, where they don't disturb your children or your family life, because it is work. Because when they go home at I don't know what time, you want to be able to live your life normal. Okay. Um, yeah, when it comes to, as I said, paying and getting money, there are two ways. Either the parents transfer the money directly to you, or you do it through the Jugendamt. And the Jugendamt will pay the money directly to you. But the Jugendamt has a certain amount that they pay. And if you do it directly with the parents, you can always say, I want €3 an hour, €4, €5, €6 an hour. I used to offer bilingual Kinderbetreuung, and which meant that I was able to take a higher price because I would speak English to the children. This is why that's because back then I wasn't even sure that my German was good or not. But I thought, well, that would be nice. I'll tell them I'll speak English to your children, which is an advantage for a lot of parents because they will see it as a way of the children of learning a foreign language. And yes, and another thing you have to consider is that you have to cook for these children. Maybe because I did it different, because I had 5 children and they're 4 days in a week. What I did was I made a list of what the children could eat during the week, and I appointed a parent or a family for each day in the week, and they would cook and bring the food every morning on that particular day for all 5 children. I repeat, 5 children, 4 days in a week. I would ask family one to cook spaghetti and meatballs, and they will bring it every morning in a big tray for all 5 children, and I'll heat it up and I'll serve them. Family two will do Tuesday. Family three will do Thursday, and so on and so forth. Right? That helped me because it prevented me. Well, it not prevented. It helped me from not having to shop, because that's also a lot of time, not having to cook and not having to yeah, even think about it. Right, they would bring the food in the morning, and when the time arrived, I'll heat up the food and made sure all the children ate well. um yes, that's also something that you can do. It's up to you. If you're taximoto, you can ask the parents to bring the food for the children, or you can cook for them. But if you have 5 children, you can't ask all 5 parents to bring something different to eat, because that's going to create conflict. That's going to be difficult for you to heat up 5 different types of food. But the way that I did it seemed to work really, really well, and I did that for many, many years. And the parents loved it because I would give them the recipes, and I would tell them that what they should buy, and they should try and cook it like, they cook one meal for their child during the week. I say, make sure that it's good, make sure you use good ingredients, make sure it's healthy. And that's like part of my concept that I had. And another thing that you should consider is, when you're taking care of children, depending on how many hours you're taking care of the children, you're being, as the word says, Tagesmutter, a day mother. which means you're feeding these children, you're teaching these children, you're you're showing them love and all of these things. You're a day mother to these children, so you have to have the capacity for it. And if you're having problems yourself and you're not happy, you're stressed, that might not be the right job for you, because you know how children are. They can be loud, they can be naughty, and so you have to be mentally on in a good state in order to become Tagas Mota. Yes. Are you still? I wasn't sure if you're still there because I couldn't see you. Am I
I'm
doing
here.
well? Am I
Oh,
giving?
you're doing very well because I've been here all along, and I'm like, wow, what an interesting um, concepts you have there. Like you strategizing on this, and like you just mentioned, the mental health is really, really important.
Absolutely. It's absolutely important. Listen, there are two things. If I go away here and I leave two things here, is one, your mental health has to be the right state. And number two is be empowered to make it the way that you take care of the children your own way, and you can make a business out of it. It can be something positive. You can have start out with one child, two child, three children, and go out and make it grow to be a Großtagespflege. Listen, if you're two of you taking care of nine children, you can go to the state, provides you with finances to pay rent, to put in furniture and buy toys. They provide you with all these things if you have a good concept to take care of children. But as I said, the way you approach them, the way you approach the parents, the way they see it in your eyes, if that your mental state, that you're able and that you love and enjoy what you do, it will go smooth. It will go smooth. And try and make it as simple as possible for yourself. Like one tip that I gave you was this food cooking thing, right? And the second tip I will say is, if it's in your home, I don't know how much space you have, but it would make sense if you have a space that you leave for the children that are coming to your house to play. I'll tell you why. Because you will be sure that it's a safe place. That's one. You'll be sure that when they come in the next day, they'll be seeing the same thing over and over. That's two. And you don't know on the days where your husband or your children might have to stay home because they're not feeling well, and then they won't get in the way of your work. You can see it as, oh, I'm just taking somebody's child and taking care of it. Or you can see it as a business. It's up to you. How professional do you want to take the whole thing? Okay. And there are other things that you require, which is you'll need a police report, a polizeiliche Führungszeugnis, a report from the police that you have not been engaged in any kind of criminal issues that have to do with children, child abuse or anything like that. You're going to need that. You're going to need an insurance, Haftpflichtversicherung. But I will also advise you to have the parents sign that they have a Haftpflichtversicherung themselves or for their children, which is very important. Okay. Haftpflichtversicherung, polizeiliche Führungszeugnis, you need the qualification. And you also remember that whatever comes in, my ladies, you have to pay taxes. Being a Tagesmutter, you are a freelancer, selbstständig. You're your own boss, but that doesn't mean you don't pay taxes. So you have to make sure that your papers are correct. Okay, that's very important. But you learn all of that when you do the course to qualify you to be a Tagesmutter. And by the way, if you have any questions, please jot them down, and I'll answer them as we go. Okay, what else was I going to say? The Qualifizierung. Exactly. I said a few minutes ago, I was talking about how much the parents pay, and Versicherung, Haftpflichtversicherung, important. So all these things you need to have in a contract with the parents. A lot of times we just say, oh, my neighbor has to start working. She's a nurse. She's going to bring her child to me on 4 days and she'll be paying me so. And oh, you get happy and all that. But you need to have this down on paper. I'll tell you what. You need to write down to make it clear what time she brings her child, what time she brings her child, she picks up her child, how much she's going to pay you, and when she's going to pay you. You need to have all of that down. You need to also know if you're allowed to take a holiday or when you're not, you know, if there's no holiday. You need to know what happens if you're unhappy or if she's unhappy. Like in my contract, I wrote down, you can take your child away from me, but you have to pay at least, I think it was 2 months of my pay if you leave immediately, for my security. So that means if she was to say today, oh, I'm not going to bring my child to you anymore, that's fine, but then she still has to pay me for the next 2 months. Just like how it is with rent and so on here. We're in Germany. You have to make sure that you secure yourself, that you're in a safe place, or else people will take advantage of you. Okay, so make sure it's written down when they can wie sagt man das? Den Vertrag, when they can cancel the contract and make that clear. And as I said, when they should come and when they shouldn't come. And also, in that contract, you should write down what their job is. Like with me, whether they should cook or not, who's responsible for buying diapers, wipes, and all that. Those are things that you need on a daily basis. And if you don't take care of that and decide on who's going to pay for it at the very beginning, it might cause conflict. It might cause problems. So in my case, what I did was I because the children were roughly the same age, between 0 and 3, I had a list and I would just
So
ask the
3,
parents, excuse me?
children between 0 and 3. So you were taken even as 3 months old baby.
Well, it never happened, but that was
Okay.
what I offered. It
Right.
never happened, right? Because well, as a target, well, some people start. You're laughing because when my children were born, I always took my children with me.
Yeah, to
I
work.
always
Yeah.
took my children with. So my daughter was the last one. She was 6 weeks old when I started working. So
Nice.
yes. And after 3, they start going to kindergarten. And sometimes if you're lucky, a child will stay with you until they're like 3.5, but that's very rare. It's usually until like you don't have them for long. It's a year and a half. And it's a
Mm.
very rewarding job. As I tell you, if you do a good job, you will feel the parents will do anything because it takes a lot of trust for a mother to
We
just
have
leave. It takes a lot of effort for a mother to leave their child with you. First of all, she has a guilty conscience that she's not able to be there because she has to work. So as a target's mother, it's also your responsibility to release her from that guilty conscience and suffering that she's having. And if you do that, she will be able to leave her child with you in peace, and the child will be peaceful and your life will be peaceful. So it's like a cycle. And I
this.
notice that every time you have the mother feeling comfortable, she projects that onto the child, and the child comes into your arms in the morning, and it's fine.
We have
And
two questions for you.
exactly, you know, and you can see it as something you do on the side. I saw Tagasmota as a job. I saw it as an opportunity to pay for this house, a house that we'd bought. It was a business for me because what the parents were paying me was paying for that house. You know what I mean? And I had money on the side.
Sure.
So
So it would
yes.
be, what are the challenges you face as a Black Tigers motor?
Um I don't know if it's black. I would say the language, but as I said, you can use the language to your advantage by saying, I'm doing it bilingual. But it's nice if you speak a little bit of German as well. Um, The challenges that you might also have is, the lack of knowledge, not knowing what's required, not having simple things like a contract or in place, or letting the parents know what you want. But that has nothing to do with being black. It
Okay.
has nothing to do with being black. And I don't think there is a challenge when it comes to, because white people are accustomed to black people since centuries, hundreds of years, taking care
I,
of the children. That is
my
not, I don't think that that is the field where they'll be
just
like,
be
oh, she can.
specific something, and if you don't let it get into your head, you will not have that feeling that you feel threatened by your the way you look or anything. I think what the children sees is also projected to their mother, and their mother feel there's this connection between parent and child. So it
Absolutely.
depends on your connectivity with that parent and with that child, and not necessarily if you're black or white. Another question
Right.
is
And your confidence, your own confidence as well. How do you stand your own confidence? That should not get into your word at all, because as I said, white people are used to seeing us taking care of their children. We've been doing it for centuries. It's nothing new. Why
mm,
should it make you feel uncomfortable? So it's you. You have to be confident and see it as a business. And this time you're getting paid for it. Okay.
as a
As I said,
business,
it's not going to make you, excuse me,
as a business,
as a
put that
business. As a business, it's not going to make you a millionaire if you're taking care of one child, but it will help you to have a little bit of pocket money. Two children, three children, if you're taking care of five children, because I was taking care of five external children. And then when, because I was able to take care of more, it was nine altogether. And that makes a difference. And I was, as I said, every Tagus mother has to be registered at the Jugendamt, but you don't have to be paid
okay.
by or from the Jugendamt. So I was able to tell the parents how much I want. And if you're good and if you come, they will pay whatever you tell them to pay, because they see that they're gonna be in good hands. Where the space that I had, I think it was 90 square meters altogether. Every child had their bed. Parents love that, to know that their children will be sleeping in the same comfortable place where the children eat. I made sure that they had, a nice clean place where they'll sit down and eat. The children love that. The parents love that. And I had little, little spaces where the parents will put the things for their children, to make everything more personal, to make the parents feel safe and the children feel safe. And then everything was just easy. It was very easy because I walked in the morning. I just walked in to play. I played all day. No, I played. And
The
whereas if
playing
you're
and
home, this is
cooking.
another thing. If you're working from home, you would you have to decide, is it a job or is it something I'm doing on the side? Because you will be easily distracted by the telephone, easily distracted by cooking for your children who are coming home at 2 o'clock, distracted by ironing you have to do, or papers you have to calls, and all that stuff. You have to
Someone
make sure.
another question here.
Yes.
So someone says, apart from working at your home, can you work anywhere, maybe in kindergarten or somewhere else?
Well, if you have the qualification, they're just going to use you as a Tages Pfleger, not as a gelernte Erzieherin. That's something else.
There's a different
With that,
qualification.
it's not for kindergarten. That's a different one. That's an Erzieherin, and that takes longer and it's more complicated. Yeah. And there's a difference. They do it on purpose. As a Tagesmutter, you're only allowed to take care of five children altogether. As a gelernte Erzieherin, you're allowed to take care of more. That is the reason why they say if two Tagesmutter come together to take care of children, it's only nine, not 10, nine. Anything beyond nine is if you are a trained kindergarten teacher, then you can take care of more. Right.
So, about the qualification, someone asked, do you have to write final exams for you to be qualified as a target splitter?
It's not don't be scared of it. It's nothing with mathematics, this and that, and chemistry, nothing like that. And what they're going to ask you to do is write a pedagogische concept, which is a concept of how you plan on doing it.
Oh,
My concept was basically what I just told you. I want 5 children. It's going to be bilingual. I want the children to come from 8 to, I don't know, 8 to 3 o'clock. And the parents are going to be doing this and this. One parent is going to be responsible for buying fruits for the children. So in the morning, we'll have Obstfrühstück, and I'm going to be painting with the children. I'm going to be drawing. I love singing and dancing. We're going to be singing and dancing. My African heritage is going to be help the children to be more diverse, and that's what
did
you
you
put. They want you to write a concept.
were you able to bring in your African concept? Because
Absolutely,
where did your Mementos box come in after? Was it after or
it
when you
was
were doing the
afterwards.
was
Momentous
after?
Box came in afterwards. Then, okay, I was working and I loved my work, but then because where I was taking care of the rules and regulations change a lot here in Germany. Where I used to take care of the children is a privat house. And if two Tagesmutter work together and you're taking care of 9 children, it has to be a gewerblicher Raum, which means like a business location. So we had to move, and it became too complicating. And I realized that there's so many other things that I like doing, so I stopped. That's when I started Momentous Box,
Okay.
right? And but I miss it still. Like every now and then, I'm like, I have to go back because it was so rewarding. It really was. It
Is
was
it possible
fun.
to have three targets Buta working together, or does it now become a
Um,
kindergarten?
I have. I'm sure. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's possible. They might tell you that one of them has to be an Erzieherin, gelernte Erzieherin, but that's not a problem. But that would also be a fantastic concept where 3 can come together and take care of, I don't know, 15, 20 children, because it's worth it. And parents will pay. Their parents will pay 6, 7, 800 euros a month if they
Because
know that their children.
they want to
Excuse me.
know that their child. I said because the idea is that they want to know
Absolutely
their kids are safe. You know,
right.
that's why
Mine
we're
was, I'm talking about 8 years ago. 8 years ago, there were parents who would pay over 700 euros a month to take care of their child because they knew that woman is going to do a good job. The children were clean. I had a Bollerwagen, and I would go out with them, go to places, and it was, and I had a list. You just have to make sure that you take it seriously. Let them see that you're just not, when they come in the morning, you don't have your head tied. Say, bring the child. Oh, come on. Make sure that you're ready. You're happy. Yeah, it's true. And you will see the benefits. Are you doing it on the side, or is it a business? Because it can be yes.
it can be fun and it could be
It
business
can be
as well.
fun. Even if you decide to move, you live in a bigger house where there's one bedroom free. Use that bedroom, decorate it, put toys and whatever, and say, this is the room where I'm going to be taking care. It's a business.
Wow.
Do the calculation yourself. I did a small calculation here. Hold on a second. Just so I can give you a rough idea of what oh, by the way, you have to check this house building is not cheap as well, huh? The Tagesmitte Ausbildung can cost, I think, until like about 1,000 euros.
And
Yeah,
this is almost 13 years ago. So definitely we would have an update because we would have
right.
someone come to tell us
Yes,
about current status of what it
right.
takes. This would
But
be yeah.
as I said, the Jugendamt, they do pay some of it if you take children that they offer you. But what I used to do is they used to send children to me, and I'll have the parents, and I said, fine, Jugendamt is going to pay me 350, but you have to top it up with the other, I don't know how much. You know what I mean? 250, for example, if you want to come to me.
Yes.
And
Makes
then
sense.
you get money from the Jugendamt and then money coming from them. I don't know if that's legal, but yeah,
But
of
it
course
works
it
for
is.
you, so why not? So long as you
Exactly.
have your cost and everything. And it's really,
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have gotten an idea of what being a target motor entails and the qualifications or what to expect. Like I
Right.
mentioned earlier, we're going to have an update on this with another guest who will be coming in January to give us more information, up to date information about what to expect. So, um, do you have a last? Do you have a last word for our audience? So we don't.
Um, yes. Last sentence will be, if you decide to do it, make sure that you're in a good place, right? As I said, mentally, because sometimes even with our own children, we can get overwhelmed. Make sure that you're in a good place. And if you are in a good place, you'll be able to enjoy this work extremely. It's a fun thing to do. You will learn a lot about your own children, about children in general. You will see that, some behaviors is not only your child who does it, but other people's children do it, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'll encourage every mother, every young mother who has time and the capacity to go ahead and be a tagesmutter. It's lots of fun. It's rewarding. Yes, that's it.
Thank you so much, Tutu Westerhoff.
Thank you for
It's
having me. Thank you all for having me.
giving us this information that most of us don't have. And definitely, you have the comment section. You can drop your questions and we can still respond to them. Whatever questions you have on this topic, on being an entrepreneur, freelancer, Jugend with kids, drop it in the comment section and myself or Tutu will respond to them. Thank you so much for joining in and have a
Thank you.
lovely.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. All righty. Bye bye. Thanks.